Tonight on CTV News at 6, flights grounded at YEG. Bomb threats against several Canadian airports.
The thing that gives me any pause at all is the fact that it was a coordinated set of bomb threats across the country.
Baseball season ticket holders seeking refunds strike out.
I want the whole experience of the stadium and everything they promised.
And karaoke road trip. Competitors converge on a small Alberta town.
Honestly, it's actually one of the best things I've ever done.
A lot cooler than yesterday, and those cooler temperatures will stick around for a few more days. More sunshine in the forecast for tomorrow.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Edmonton's airport is back to business as usual after operations were temporarily stopped today because of a bomb threat. Just after 4 a.m., police learned of bomb threats against airports in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Montreal, and Ottawa. Nearly 3 hours later, NAV Canada said, following the evacuation of a number of our sites and subsequent threat assessment by authorities, service is gradually resuming at affected sites. Police say the control tower at the Edmonton International Airport was the subject of one of the threats. After an extensive search, nothing suspicious was located. The airport declined our request for an interview.
These sorts of things are so rare, and just about every single time it's a hoax. But in this case, the thing that gives me any pause at all is the fact that it was a coordinated set of bomb threats across the country.
The airport says 4 flights were affected. Some Energy City Cactus Rats season ticket holders are demanding refunds. After years of delays, the team's new ballpark in Spruce Grove is still under construction. As CTV's Nav Sanga reports, the fans are frustrated they've paid for seats that don't yet exist.
Back in 2023, Jennifer Vachon bought season tickets for the team, then known as the Edmonton Prospects, since rebranded as the Energy City Cactus Rats. She says a big reason she made the investment was a promise of the team's new ballpark in Spruce Grove. But 3 years after construction started, it's still not done.
Yeah, I was ready for an exciting season, and it's just been really disappointing.
Vachon has been trying unsuccessfully to get a refund for her $1,600 since February 2024. At one point, a representative from the team asked if Vachon would accept an e-transfer, which she says never came.
It's my money, and we've just heard nothing.
I just want to know what's going on and where our money is.
Sandy Miller bought a pair of tickets for this year's season for more than $1,000. The team anticipated a home opener in the new ballpark in June. That was pushed to July.
And at that point, I said, I want a refund because I know it's not going to be open this year, and I can't commit to next year.
Instead, in an email, she was told the team would be playing its first home games at Henry Singer Ballpark this weekend. It would cost her an additional $30 to attend, and spectators could bring their own lawn chairs.
I don't want to go sit in a field and watch a ball game. I want the whole experience of the stadium and everything they promised.
Miller has been told she's on a refund list, but in a statement to CTV News, the Energy City Cactus Rats say our ticket policies, including those regarding refunds, align with the broader Western Canadian Baseball League standards. Under those guidelines, refunds are not issued, even in cases of venue-related disruptions. Adding all 2025 season ticket holders have received a full credit toward 2026 season tickets.
It's very frustrating, and it's left a really bad taste in our mouth. Like, I don't even know if I want to watch any games.
The Energy City Cactus Rats say they are completing an assessment to determine if a 2025 opening remains viable. Nav Sanga, CTV News, Spruce Grove.
A second long day at City Hall with City Council hearing from both sides of Edmonton's infill debate. Councillors are weighing the need to add density in a growing city against the impact infill has on the people who already live in mature neighbourhoods. As Jeremy Thompson reports, they're narrowing down a list of possible bylaw changes.
Infill homes are popping up everywhere inside the ring road, especially in the core, an intentional result of Edmonton's new zoning bylaw that kicked in last year.
We want to make sure that we are building a financially, environmentally sustainable city that remains affordable.
That change is disruptive. Kelly Petrick knows about that firsthand.
think my situation has been dubbed the Crestwood situation.
2 multiplexes are being built beside her home, a disruption to daily life many of the people speaking to councillors can relate to.
It is out of nowhere, and it's been a steep learning curve.
After 18 months under the new zoning rules, council is considering a number of changes. City staff recommend reducing the maximum units on a mid-block lot from 8 to 6, requiring more windows on the front of a building and shrinking the maximum building length by 2 meters. They also advise limiting the number of side entrances on multiplexes, building homes further apart, and keeping side stairs from sticking out too far. Adjustments one industry rep considers reasonable compromise.
We live in a cool city that's been trying to do a lot of interesting things more rapidly than any other city, and to some extent that puts us out ahead of the pack, and then sometimes we get our toes clipped a little bit, and it's fine.
At the same time, infill advocates and some builders say backtracking on size and maximum units would hurt the city's goals.
We now have a building that is shorter and narrower. We lose the 3rd bedroom that makes a home viable for a family. We lose the square footage needed to build barrier-free homes. We lose storage, open concept layouts, and natural light.
We won't be able to satisfy everybody on either side. I know that, but I think we're trying to figure out what is going to be the best interest of the city and Edmontonians.
And Jeremy joins us now live from City Hall, where today's hearing has wrapped up. Jer, how much longer is this expected to take?
Yeah, Jeff, pretty much as long as it needs to take. As I mentioned, 150 plus people have registered to speak to City Council about this infill issue. That includes Monday's session as well. And actually tonight, in order to finish hearing from the panel that was speaking to Council, they extended the meeting to 5:30. It was supposed to end at 5. Now, Council's summer break is supposed to begin next week. This will probably take quite a bit more time as just to get through all those speakers. Mayor Sohi has told me he's committed to getting through this whole process before council goes on that break, which means we're definitely here tomorrow. We could even be back next week and delay that summer break for council. Jeff?
All right, Jeremy, thank you. That's Jeremy Thompson live for us tonight. Now, the city says it only takes 2 minutes to double-check your voter information ahead of the municipal election this fall. As part of the Local Authorities Election Act, the city must now use a permanent electors register. Edmonton Elections is using the provincial system of VoterLink to compile a list of voters. It says it may not include Edmontonians who recently moved or who just became eligible to vote for the first time. The city is urging everyone to verify their information by August 15th.
It's always much easier if we show up at the voting station, you're already on the list. So this is the same as when you vote in provincial or federal elections. It's just going to make your experience a little bit easier, and we just want to make voting easy and accessible for all eligible Edmontonians.
If you miss the registration deadline, you can register at your assigned voting station during advance voting or on election day. To see if you are registered to vote or to register, visit edmonton.ca/elections. A 33-year-old woman has died after being hit by a train last week. The crash involved a Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway train that happened last Thursday morning on 51st Avenue between 99th Street and Gateway Boulevard. The woman was taken to hospital in critical condition. Police say she has since died. No charges have been laid. Alberta Health Services says someone with measles visited the Stollery Children's Hospital yesterday. AHS says anyone who was at the Stollery Emergency Department between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. may have been exposed to measles. The alert also includes the University of Alberta Hospital foyers between the 112th and 114th Street entrances. AHS says anyone unvaccinated for measles should monitor for symptoms and call the measles hotline if symptoms develop. The province is reporting 10 new cases of measles today. None are in Edmonton. A new pilot project aims to give women and children escaping violence more effective support. The project is using a centralized call system. Instead of calling individual shelters, people can call 211 for help. The pilot project aims for callers to get quicker access to available beds in Edmonton, Sturgeon County, and Strathcona County. If no shelter space is available, they'll be directed to other services and support.
The big part of this is that we want no woman turned away, and that is the thing that we've been really fighting for and really trying to get.
The new system will also provide data on the severity of unmet shelter demands in the Edmonton area. This way, the province will have a better idea of where to allocate resources. The pilot project ends in December. The city is inviting people to discover the healing benefits of connecting with our urban forest. Forest bathing is being offered at 4 different parks throughout the summer. The practice is also known as Shinrin-yoku. It involves spending intentional time in nature to enhance our well-being. The sessions will be led by a certified guide and include silent meditation and sensory activities. You can forest bathe at the Northeast River Valley Park, White Mud Creek Ravine, Capilano Park, and the John Jansen Nature Center. The free guided sessions run Tuesdays and Thursdays. And investigators are working to confirm whether a tornado touched down in the Drayton Valley area last night. Pictures show the suspected tornado near Lodgepole shortly after 5 p.m. Investigators from Environment and Climate Change Canada and the Northern Tornado Project are heading out to do a damage assessment. It will likely be ranked an EF0. This would be the 4th tornado in Alberta this year. All right, Josh, you're almost certain that funnel cloud touched down and became a tornado?
Based on what we've seen, and I trust the storm chasers that were out there that said, yes, they saw it in contact with the ground. It sounds like Environment Climate Change Canada feels the same way. So you have to go out and do a damage assessment and make sure. And as you mentioned, it's probably, just based on where it touched down, it's probably going to be an EF0. Was not the only severe storm. Certainly got the most headlines, but we had hail, large hail in parts of the province. We had gusts that were knocking down trees in other areas, and that is a spectacular shot from northwestern Alberta around Valley View. Thanks to Gail for sending this in to me. Darlene took the picture. Just a beautiful structure on that supercell thunderstorm. It's been active in that area as well. No severe storms, but there have been some severe thunderstorms in the High Prairie area and off to the southeast of Valley View. Those will continue to track off to the east-northeast over the next little while. Here in Edmonton, we've had some scattered showers in the area, really nothing blanketing the city. We're in a bit of a dry spot right now, and actually you can see with some clearing off to the west, there is some sunshine in parts of the city. Here's what it looks like with the CTV drone right now. Drone's facing north at some partly cloudy skies. It was a beautiful shot of a thunderstorm, and that is a beautiful shot of the skyline there right now with the sun breaking through in parts of the Edmonton area. We have started to cool, though. 19 degrees for a daytime high. We're at 17 right now, but the wind has also started to back off. 23 degrees, the average daytime high. We were 4 degrees cooler than that today, which was 13 degrees cooler than yesterday. It was 32 degrees yesterday. I think we'll be in that 20-degree range again for a high tomorrow with sunshine in the morning and then a few clouds in the afternoon. Could see a few more showers and thunderstorms through the weekend. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Stay with us. Coming up, excitement building for the future of women's football in Edmonton.
I think it's going to draw a lot of attention and even build the game even more.
How the city's top team is inspiring young girls to follow their football dreams. Also next.
We factor in about 1.3 million. Obviously, we're set up to host more than that.
The Calgary Stampede prepares to welcome thousands of people as the festival gets underway.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Edmonton's top women's football team took part in the league championship over the weekend, falling to Saskatoon. While it's a disappointing outcome, the team is excited to see where women's football in our city is heading. CTV's Evan Kenny reports.
In the shotgun, fakes the handoff, going to the air, to the end zone, is intercepted.
The Edmonton Arctic Pride intercepted this ball, but they couldn't grab the Western Women's Canadian Football League Championship. Head coach Marcus Henry is still proud of his team and is excited to see what they can do next year.
Especially this first year, how well we did, I think it's going to draw a lot of attention and even build the game even more.
BB Suzuki quarterbacked her team to the finals. She's been playing for the past 7 years and remembers discovering Edmonton's top women's team.
To just know that there was a women's team that I could end up joining when I'm older really brought a comfort to me.
And it's a big reason many other girls are staying on the gridiron. Football Alberta has been open to women for some time, mainly in older levels. It says now it's seeing more young girls signing up to play.
It's just been great work done by a lot of hardworking people, and particularly women. Women are really taking to the game. They've got a lot of great leadership. We're developing a lot of great coaches, and
it's really been fun to watch.
5 years ago, Football Alberta added an under-18 provincial women's team. Because of the sport's growth, it's adding a U16 team.
It's growing like a weed at this stage, which is really positive.
It's a new generation Suzuki is excited to be a role model for, just like ones she had while learning the game.
And I remember thinking, wow, like I want to be like her so much, and to be that kind of person for somebody is just, I don't know, I feel really proud.
She'll take some of those younger players under her wing on the Arctic Pride next season, this time looking to finish the job in the championship. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Edmonton Elks are helping tackle hunger in the city with a food drive. They're gearing up by sorting food donations at Edmonton's food bank. It comes ahead of their game day food drive on Sunday when they face the Ottawa Red Blacks. The food bank says 43,000 people are using its services monthly. That's 2,000 more than last year. The campaign aims to drive up donations this summer.
You know, things kind of slow down. People think of food banks at festive times of the year. So it is a key time of year where we can encourage people to support our work. Whether they come to a game, it's a great family event. Buy your tickets, come out, bring your food donation.
Last year, fans raised more than 10,000 kilograms in food donations. One of Alberta's largest festivals is getting underway. The grounds of the Calgary Stampede open for a sneak peek ahead of the parade officially kicking things off tomorrow. CTV's Tyson Fedor has a look at how festival goers are already getting in on the action.
The annual tradition of the first flip. Politicians of all stripes are in Calgary for the greatest outdoor show on earth.
The Stampede means that jobs are created, that businesses are supported, that hotel rooms are filled, and that patios are packed.
In 2024, a record number of visitors as nearly 1.5 million people entered the gates at the Stampede grounds. Organizers hope for similar attendance this year.
We don't budget for the prior year's weather. We factor in maybe we'll get a couple of rainy days, and we factor in about 1.3 million. Obviously, we're set up to host more than that.
Conference Board of Canada estimated in 2019 the Stampede ropes in around $282 million annually, the majority staying here in the city. The Stampede says it will have updated financial numbers later this year to see what the impact of an expanded BMO Centre has had on the flagship event.
Budget? No budget. Let's see how the spending goes.
Whatever we find, if we find it interesting, we'll go for it.
I'm cheap, so as cheap as possible, but if it's worth it, I'll do it. I'll try anything once.
For local businesses such as Red's Diner and Ramsey, being walking distance to the grounds, they are always bussing tables for the next batch of hungry Stampede goers and offering a more affordable option than the grounds.
Great to come, chill, relax, have breakfast, and then go down and kind of save you a little money.
And the Chamber of Commerce says the Stampede is the pinnacle for many.
Well, for so many of them, this is the majority of their revenue for the year. It's really important for small businesses, and it really is. It's an opportunity to grow your business, to think about new opportunities for your business in terms of expanding your market, maybe thinking of other products.
Last year, 17% of tourists to Calgary were from the U.S. Only 45,000 Americans visited the 10-day event in 2024. Despite political tensions, Tourism Calgary says Americans are still coming to Calgary.
We saw really strong visitation from the U.S. in June. We see anecdotally lots of Americans moving around our community and saying they want to come here. This has been a bucket list trip they've been thinking of, and they've heard about Calgary as a place of opportunity.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
While many people choose to imbibe during the Stampede, some Calgary businesses say demand for non-alcoholic options is rising. Annex Ales has been making craft soda drinks for a decade. Its owners say this year 1/3 of all its sales are soda. Mocktails are also gaining popularity. At Village Brewing, zero proof and low alcohol by volume is their fastest rising product line. Owners say it's possible to celebrate Stampede without consuming alcohol.
Many of our consumers are transitioning between sometimes drinking and sometimes not. So it's more of a situational kind of thing for most customers.
I think we're going to see this stick around. I think we're going to see more styles, more exploration, different categories emerge out of this non-alcoholic trend. I think it's going to keep growing from here.
A Statistics Canada survey from last fall found younger Canadians are more likely to have not had an alcoholic drink in the past week. Coming up, building community through karaoke. chance to sing on a global stage, just one of the draws of this competition southwest of Edmonton.
I've been opened up to a whole new community of people that like to sing, and that's cool.
With some sunny breaks outside right now in the Edmonton area. We'll see a lot more sunshine tomorrow, and then a chance of some thunderstorms and some rain Saturday night into early Sunday. Your forecast next.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by Federated Co-ops. Find your summer sweepstakes. Unlock your chances to win at your local co-op.
You can find karaoke competitions happening in small towns across Alberta almost any night of the week. In Thorsby, the competition isn't as important as the community that the contestants have found. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
People have come from all over Alberta to visit the Thorsby Hotel. Not to stay, but to sing.
Honestly, it's actually one of the best things I've ever done.
This is a preliminary round of the KWC Global Music Contest, a karaoke competition. The winner will get a chance to sing on a global stage. But for most competing here, a trip to the next round of qualifiers isn't the real prize.
It's kind of a release of endorphins. For personally myself, I like to bottle them up and try not to let my emotions show too much, and then music I could express them a bit more.
Taking to the stage brings out another side of each contestant.
It's helped me discover things about myself that I didn't even know were there.
When I first started, when I was all bottled up and not really singing that loud, now I belt songs a bit much easier, and I get a little less nervous.
With validation and support coming from fellow performers.
It helps you, it almost energizes you in that sense, so you can deliver a better performance.
I've been opened up to a whole new community of people that like to sing, and that's cool. That's really cool.
While there are winners selected, the real prize is the connections being made. A group of friends always ready to welcome one more. And helping each other raise their voice. In Thorsby, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
All right.
So
I think Connor could have won that thing. Wow.
He's a very, very talented young man.
Yeah. Holy. Take a look outside right now. A lot quieter than it was 24 hours ago as you look through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right or it's free. 17 degrees and partly cloudy skies right now in Edmonton. 19 for a daytime high earlier today. We thought we'd get to 20. The clouds were a little thicker mid-afternoon. 24 in Fort McMurray, Cold Lake, Lloydminster, 23 degrees, and 18s in Grand Prairie and Red Deer for daytime highs. It was a blustery day across the entire province here in Edmonton. Not as bad as outside the city. Gusts to about 35 kilometers per hour. Red Deer close to 50. 67 kilometer per hour gusts here late this afternoon in Grand Prairie. Close to 60 in Fort McMurray earlier in the day. You have had some showers and thunderstorms in that area. You've got some thunderstorms as well in through northwestern Alberta. You see that twist right there. There's your area low pressure. And further to the south, the southern edge of this, there's actually a severe thunderstorm watch that's just been issued for areas southeast of Calgary, moving away from Calgary. Red Deer, Stettler areas, you've got some scattered showers right now moving through off to the north of the city, a few hit and miss showers. We'll keep an eye on these cells. I think they'll weaken before they hit the Edmonton area, but there might be a shower or two that slides through the Edmonton region before this evening is done. Most of this evening, though, most of the city, if not all of the city, just partly cloudy skies. Those storms non-severe, but they are going to give you some rumbles and some flashes in and around Whitecourt. West of Fort McMurray, those thunderstorms do have the potential to push into the Fort McMurray area. In fact, there's going to be a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity in that region right through the overnight period, maybe even some pockets of heavier rain north of Fort McMurray, and that continues Fort McMurray and north right through into tomorrow morning. Whereas here in Edmonton, skies will clear overnight tonight. We'll start tomorrow with some sunshine, thicker cloud cover off to the north of the city. Some of that cloud slides through midday, and then we get back to some sunshine tomorrow afternoon. So we'll call it sunny with a few clouds, as opposed to just full-blown, mainly sunny skies. Saturday, some increase in cloud through the day. In through the Peace Country, Whitecourt area, you've got a chance of thunderstorms. Around Red Deer, you could see some thunderstorms. And the potential is there for some severe thunderstorms in parts of central and north central Alberta. For the Edmonton region, the greatest chance for thunderstorms looks like it's going to be Saturday evening, 8, 9 p.m., somewhere in that ballpark. Could see some of those storms roll through. Then it changes over to showers or periods of rain for overnight Saturday night and early Sunday morning. Moves off into eastern Alberta. It looks like by Sunday afternoon we should see some sunny breaks here in the city late in the day Sunday. 21 and 22 in Fort McMurray and Cold Lake right now. It's 17 in Grand Prairie and here in Edmonton. Red Deer a little cooler, sitting at 15 degrees. So we'll be in that 15-degree range around 9 o'clock tonight. 11 tomorrow morning, and then a high of 20 or 21 tomorrow, and again, gusts to around 30 kilometers per hour. 23 Saturday, chance of some thunderstorms Saturday evening, chance of some showers or rain Saturday night, early Sunday. Then the sun comes out for early next week, and temperatures heat up again. Mid-20s Monday, near 30 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Thank you, Josh. A conservation group is working to preserve an historic ranch in Alberta's cowboy country. The Nature Conservancy of Canada and the Waldron Grazing Cooperative have partnered to conserve the Bob Creek Ranch along Highway 22 west of Claresholm. The 1,000-hectare property will create a block of more than 43,000 hectares of conserved and protected land within the headwaters of the South Saskatchewan River watershed. The land will be a permanent space for game species like elk, moose, deer, and grizzly bears to move through.
The Bob Creek Ranch is significant because it's kind of this hole that was on the north side of the Old Man River. It has 2 or 3 miles of river frontage, has a couple of miles of frontage onto the Bob Creek, and it's also bordered by the Bob Creek Wildland Park.
The project is part of the NCC's Prairie Grasslands Action Plan. The group hopes to conserve more than 500,000 hectares of land in Alberta by 2030. Up next, optimism in the midst of a trade war.
What we're seeing in the numbers is somewhat encouraging.
Experts say it appears Canada's effort to diversify markets are working. Also next.
I think when you go over the bill, it was very easy to get him to a yes. You know, we went over that bill, and point after point.
U.S. President Donald Trump leans on skeptical Republicans to nudge his sweeping bill to a narrow victory.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The impact of the Canada-U.S. trade war was revealed in new data today, which included information that's giving experts reason to be optimistic about Canada's efforts to diversify its export markets. Here's CTV's Rachel Aiello on the numbers and what they mean for businesses and consumers in this country.
Canada-U.S. trade is stuck in a tariff-induced rut, according to new numbers from Statistics Canada. Exports of Canadian goods to the United States have decreased for a 4th consecutive month, costing businesses billions.
Businesses are really kind of in suspended animation right now. And you always worry about losing a customer, even if it's just for a matter of months, because there's no guarantee that you're going to get that customer back.
This snapshot of the state of trade with Canada's largest export market comes amid some better news. Canada's overall merchandise trade deficit narrowed slightly in May. Imports fell 1.6% to $66 billion, while exports were up 1.1% to $60 billion. These figures bringing the deficit to $5.9 billion, down from April's record-setting $7.6 billion. The slight rebound attributed to exports of Canadian goods to other countries hitting a record high. Experts say this is a direct result of efforts to diversify Canada's international trade relationships.
What we're seeing in the numbers is somewhat encouraging. I mean, that, exporters, Canadian companies are taking that spare capacity that the United States created or the empty space on the order books and are able to, in some cases, fill it with other markets.
Those I spoke with today said with Canadian businesses working to lessen their reliance on the U.S., the worst may be in the rearview mirror. But until Prime Minister Mark Carney locks in a trade pact with U.S. President Donald Trump, the road ahead will remain rocky. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
U.S. President Trump's sweeping tax cut and spending bill has narrowly passed the House.
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
The highly controversial multi-trillion-dollar package slashes Medicaid, Social Security, and clean energy tax credits. Trump is touting it as a win for his administration.
I think when you go over the bill, it was very easy to get him to a yes. We went over that bill, and point after point, biggest tax cut in history, great for security, great on the southern border, immigration is covered. We covered just about everything.
Press on for the rule of law. Press on for the American way of life. Press on for democracy.
Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries delayed voting for more than 8 hours, seizing control of the floor with a record-breaking speech against the bill. Trump is expected to sign it into law on Friday. The Kremlin says during a phone call with Donald Trump, Russia's president called for diplomatic solutions to conflicts in the Middle East. Trump and Vladimir Putin spoke on the phone this morning. The Kremlin says Putin stressed the Iran conflicts and others in the Middle East should be solved diplomatically. The Kremlin also indicated there was little progress on Ukraine. 2 days ago, the United States said it would halt some American missile and ammunition shipments to Ukraine. Ukraine says it will harm their defense against escalating Russian attacks. In the Ukrainian city of Poltava, a Russian airstrike killed 2 people, injured dozens more, and damaged a military draft office. A drone strike on Monday also targeted a recruitment center in another city. Ukrainian officials say the attacks are part of a focused campaign to disrupt recruitment for the war. The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says Israeli airstrikes and shootings killed at least 94 people overnight, including dozens attempting to get humanitarian aid. 5 people were killed outside sites associated with the American-run Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is backed by Israel. 40 others were killed waiting for aid at other sites, while an airstrike on a school being used as a shelter left at least 15 dead. The Israeli Defense Forces have said they are investigating incidents at aid distribution sites. Amnesty International accuses Israel of using starvation as a weapon. Officials say a wildfire threatening the town of Litton, BC, was sparked by an RCMP equipment failure. A state of emergency is in effect in Litton due to the 130-hectare out-of-control wildfire. The RCMP says it was ignited when a wheel ejected from an RCMP trailer into a nearby ditch. The RCMP says the officer driving the trailer tried to extinguish the flames but was unsuccessful. Another wildfire is holding at just under 6 hectares and is not expected to grow. This week marked the 4-year anniversary of a fire that destroyed much of Litton and killed 2 people. Soccer fans gathered in England today to pay their respects to Liverpool FC star Diogo Jota. The 28-year-old was killed in a car crash early this morning.
This is devastating news, and I'm sure I speak for everyone in saying our first thoughts are going to be with his family and his friends in particular.
Police say Jota and his brother were driving on an isolated stretch of highway in Spain when their car veered off the road and burst into flames. Jota's death comes weeks after he married his wife, with whom he shares 3 kids. The youngest was born just last year. And actor Michael Madsen has died at the age of 67. Madsen was best known for his work in Quentin Tarantino films, including Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill. He also had roles in some of Tarantino's more recent movies, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Authorities say they responded to a 911 call this morning, and Madsen was found deceased due to natural causes. His publicist says he suffered a cardiac arrest. His representatives say he was still working regularly with numerous film projects in development, as well as a book. A new deal means NHL players will officially return to the Olympics next year. The NHL, NHLPA, International Ice Hockey Federation, and International Olympic Committee have agreed to terms to allow NHL hockey players to compete at the 2026 Winter Games in Italy. It will be the first time since 2014 that NHL players will compete in the Games. The deal also paves the way for participation at the Olympics in 2030. Last month, Team Canada announced several players for its Milan 2026 roster, including Oilers captain Connor McDavid, who will make his Olympic debut. Coming up, a legal battle over coal cooling down.
We still do not know how much these settlements or these agreements will cost Albertans.
Two companies suing the province for flip-flopping on policies come to an agreement. Also next.
We would prefer that our technology path here is actually driven by the customer rather than a made-up mandate.
Auto industry leaders insist they'll invest in electric vehicles without federal mandates. And there is a live shot of a beautiful canola field just west of Edmonton in Parkland County. Stay with us. Looking at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 73 cents to the American dollar. Oil lost 45 cents on the day, closing at $67 U.S. a barrel. Gold ended the day $16.80 lower. TSX up 164 points. The Dow Jones was up 344 on the day. Two coal companies suing Alberta's government over its mining policy say they've reached settlement agreements. CTV's Jacqueline Wilson reports.
Atrium Coal and Revolve Power say they've reached settlement agreements with the Alberta government. Atrium's is finalized, but in a letter last month, Evolve writes theirs is still in the works and are expecting it to be finalized in September. Neither have released financial details of the settlements. The companies are among 5 that are suing the government for a collective $16 billion in sunk costs and lost revenue.
We still do not know how much these settlements or these agreements will cost Albertans. The $16 billion is what industry has asked for. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what has been agreed upon. So we are calling on the Premier to share the details of those agreements as soon as possible.
The other 3 companies suing the province are Valerie Resources, Cabin Ridge, and Northback Holdings. In May, Alberta's energy regulator granted Northback exploratory permits for its Grassy Mountain project. It's something the NDP don't want to see.
The Alberta NDP proposed the Eastern Slopes Protection Act years ago, which would have guaranteed and legislatively protected the Eastern Slopes and the headwaters from any new coal mines. That private member's bill is still sitting on the private member's bill docket in the legislature.
The province tells CTV it cannot comment on matters currently before the courts. However, Premier Smith spoke to CTV Wednesday at a town hall in Okotoks about the province's coal policy strategy.
We also have a number of leases that we're in the process of buying back so that those leases are held in the hands of the Alberta government and not open for development. So I think that the original intention of the 1976 coal policy was to have a very limited number of areas where coal can be developed, and that's kind of what we're returning to.
The head of GM Canada is in Alberta for the next few days. Today, GM's president spoke on a panel in Calgary about the future of mobility in Canada and the company's plans to double its Canadian footprint. It comes on the heels of a meeting yesterday with the Prime Minister. Mark Carney met with the auto sector about ways to protect Canadian supply chains from the U.S. trade war. Among a list of recommendations, the group wants Ottawa to repeal the zero-emission vehicle mandate. Christian Aquilina says getting rid of the policy wouldn't change GM's EV commitment. He says dictating what people should have in their driveway isn't the way to go.
We're investing heavily in electrification. We have 13 EVs available for customers, and we prefer that our technology path here is actually driven by the customer rather than a made-up mandate.
EV sales in Canada fell after federal rebates ended. According to Statistics Canada, zero-emission vehicles accounted for around 8% of new sales in the first quarter of this year. That's a 16% drop compared to the previous quarter. Nissan is recalling nearly 38,000 vehicles in Canada. The models include 2021 to 2024 Nissan Rogues, 2019 and 2020 Nissan Altimas, 2019 to 2022 Infiniti QX50s, and 2022 Infiniti QX55s. The automaker says the recall is due to a potential manufacturing defect that could lead to engine damage or failure. Owners can bring their vehicles into a Nissan dealership for an inspection and repair. In the U.S., over 440,000 vehicles were recalled. A Labour first in Canada, as more than 500 Uber drivers in Victoria have successfully unionized. The drivers campaigned on securing better health and safety measures along with greater transparency in Uber's rating system. They will be part of BC's largest private sector union, UFCW Canada, and will now move forward to bargain for a collective agreement with Uber. First responders will help people in Red Deer cool off this summer. Fire trucks will become mobile spray parks at family-friendly events. Police cruiser tours and other family activities will also be available. Beat the Heat mobile spray park events are weather-dependent, and emergency calls for firefighters will take priority. After the break, hold on to your bricks.
You feel like you're walking in through the gates of Jurassic World and Jurassic Park.
Lego finds a way to bring the classic dinosaur movie to life at the TELUS World of Science.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Two favorite kids' worlds are colliding in a new exhibit coming to the TELUS World of Science this fall. Jurassic World by Brickman uses Lego to recreate dinosaurs and scenes from the movie. Brickman is a team of Lego artists led by Australian Lego master Ryan McNaught. All in, the crew uses 6 million bricks to create the exhibit. Edmonton is the first Canadian stop for the show. The TELUS World of Science says it's an experience as soon as you enter.
You feel like you're walking in through the gates of Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, if you will. And you go through these big gates, and then you are immediately immersed inside of the experience. And you feel the soundscapes behind it, the Lego experience, and the interactivity is immediate, is absolutely immediate. And it carries on for what will be 10,000 square foot presentation in our child and exhibit gallery.
There are also plenty of brick building opportunities and lessons about paleontology. Tickets are on sale now. The exhibit opens October 11th. A unique art project inviting people to chat in West Edmonton has been nominated for an international award. Play It By Ear is a series of 13 brightly colored telephones in Butler Memorial Park. Each phone is connected. If someone picks up the phone, another phone in the park will ring for someone else to hopefully answer. Play It By Ear was one of the 100 worldwide art displays nominated for a CODA award. The winner will be selected in August.
Public art pieces are here to help create vibrancy and give the city a little bit more personality and color. And that's one of the things that I would always encourage people to think about when they're seeing and interacting with our public art pieces.
Two Calgary artists created the interactive sculptures. The phones have been installed in the park since 2023. You know, my kids would be very confused about those devices.
No, they don't have to do
What is that?
They don't have to do this, though.
You
just have to pick it up.
Yeah.
That's way. Have you seen the?
very complicated.
Have you seen the Portal in New York?
The Portal. Oh yes.
Yeah, and it connects video-wise to
other side of the world.
That's way cooler than the Portal. Am I showing my old man? All right, take a look at your forecast. 11 degrees tomorrow morning. We'll see some sunshine through the morning hours. Midday, we'll get a bit of cloud cover, and then the sun comes back in the afternoon. High of about 21 tomorrow, and a little breezy. 23 Saturday, chance of thunderstorms Saturday evening, then some showers or periods of rain overnight Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Heat's back next week. Highs near 30, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Sounds great. Thank you, Josh, and thanks for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca or visit the CTV channel on YouTube.